Hi, I'm Mark Palmer with the Illinois Supreme Court Commission on Professionalism. Welcome to Reimagining Law. We're exploring how legal professionals are adapting to the delivery of services and the needs of consumers in today's market. I'm joined by Professor Cynthia Fountaine of Southern Illinois University School of Law, and she's also one of our commissioners at the Supreme Court Commission on Professionalism in Illinois. Thanks for joining me, Cindy.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to dive in to talk about your unique perspective from what's going on at SIU Law, and you're a former dean there. You've been a professor there for many years. What's kind of been the biggest challenge at SIU Law lately with all the COVID-19 impact and so forth?
Well, without question, the biggest challenge was taking all of our classes online in the middle of the semester. I think that at least I was hoping to create an online class at some point, but didn't think I'd be doing it right smack dab in the middle of the semester. So we got notice in about the middle of spring break that when we came back from an extended spring break, we'd be going online. So that's been a challenge, but everybody has really just done a fantastic job, the faculty and the students, in shifting and being flexible and going to this new online way of doing our classes.
Yeah, I would think some of your learning elements, just like any learning environment, whether high school, secondary, or the like, there's certain aspects to it that must be very difficult. What comes to mind for law school particularly would be like trial advocacy class, where you really need that practical in-person interaction. Has that been going on to some degree, or how have they overcome those types of hurdles?
Yes, that's a great question. And let me just comment on my classes, which are not trial advocacy or anything like that. But what I really miss is sort of the in-person back and forth discussion. That's much more difficult, I've found, in an online setting. Not impossible, but just the sort of delay that is inherent in the process makes that a little more difficult. Trial advocacy, moot court, those programs have gone forward, and I think they're obviously doing it differently, but I think they're really getting learning a lot in terms of how to be resilient, how to change course, how to do things differently under different circumstances. Our moot court program had a special moot court, one not really a competition, but a mini competition sort of online with the guest judges and that sort of thing. And all the first year students are doing their spring oral arguments through Zoom. And so it's a different experience, but I think they're learning a lot about how to be resilient, how to shift course and do things in a different way. And of course, it'll be nice hopefully next year when we get back and they can learn to do things in the courtroom as well.
Yeah, certainly. And I have to ask, with your evolution of learning as we're doing this kind of learning as we go aspect, have you noticed the progression in your students as well? Have they become more open to asking questions or using virtual tools just as you have throughout this process? Have you seen an increase in the ability to interact and function through Zoom or whatever platforms they're using?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all kind of settled in now. We're in our, I've lost track of time, third or fourth week of doing this, and I think we've all sort of gotten a pattern going. Clearly the students were more technologically adept than many of us faculty members to begin with. So they were already pretty savvy in terms of how to use the technology and that sort of thing. And I think they've all had different challenges. I mean, students, just like faculty, like the in-person interaction too. So they've been missing that. But and some of them are isolated. Some of them have obviously other issues in their lives to deal with right now. But they have done a great job of, changing course, figuring out the new way of doing things, and really just diving in and trying to make the best of the semester, what's left of it.
So Professor Fontaine, what are some kinds of elements that maybe directly have impacted how you conduct your class? I know we talked about the video aspects of it, but also administratively, what changes are law schools considering, including SIU Law?
Well, at SIU Law, we went to a pass-fail system for this spring semester. We had a couple goals. One was to send a message to the students that we're really all in this together, and we want to do things in a way that accommodates what we know are additional challenges in their lives. And so after a lot of discussion and looking around at what other law schools were doing, we adopted a mandatory pass-fail system. And I know other law schools in Illinois did things similar, and some adopted different grading scales than that. And also, we're going to have to give our exams online too. That's a big change for most of us. I mean, our students use computers in their exams all the time. That's a normal thing, but they don't usually take them remotely. So that's another way we've had to sort of adapt and change our program and how we are doing things this semester.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I know we haven't quite yet, at least recording to this video, we haven't heard what's going to happen this summer with the July bar exam in Illinois and other bars across the country. I know that's a very hot topic in discussion, and I'm sure it's on the minds of the current 3Ls at SIU Law and other places. Have you heard how students have felt about that, or how they really are experiencing and dealing with the unsure future, at least short-term future of their careers?
Yeah, it's really a point of stress for the 3Ls. They had plans, and of course, they're now finishing off the year in a way that is different from what they expected, and so there's a lot of uncertainty then surrounding the bar exam. And a lot of that relates to jobs they may have had lined up that now they're uncertain about whether they'll be able to start when they planned, and that sort of thing. And I think that they, however, are trying to adapt just like they are to their classes, and kind of wait and see what is decided about that.
Well, thinking big picture, how do you see COVID-19 impacting legal education, how it's going to be delivered in the near future, but maybe impacting the profession as a whole, and how not only you do your job differently, but how we train lawyers both in law school and after law school?
Yeah, well, for starters, I mean, we've proved that we can do this. I mean, it can be done. And I think that what we will all try to do is take the best parts of this experience and apply it in the way we make changes in legal education going forward. I don't think legal education will be 100% online anytime soon, but at the same time, I think there will be more online opportunities, and it's obviously important to train students in how to do this, and courts and future judges and that sort of thing too. So I think that it's incumbent on us as legal educators to look at what we've done and find the good parts and incorporate them into everyday legal education going forward. Several things that I've done in my class changes that I've made, I plan to continue to do. I mean, I've learned a lot, even after 20 years of being a law professor, in how to deliver material and that sort of thing.
Yep. And we're not gonna go backwards. I hope not from this point, and in how we do those things in the classroom and beyond. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Professor Fontaine, for joining me. I really appreciate it, from your time in Carbondale, from your home, and we look forward to having more conversations with other individuals in the legal profession as we go through these different times. You'll find more information in the notes below this video. Please like and share, and be sure to subscribe so you can follow the most recent episodes of Reimagining Law. Thanks for watching today. Be well, and we'll see you again soon.